a lot of these meetings, but Mr.
Okay. Sheriff?
Thank you, Board. I'm John DiAugustini, Sheriff Coroner, Public Administrator. I'm here before you today for two reasons. The first, because you, the Board, requested information regarding the staffing of my office and further information on my budget. Later, after lunch, I'll have Under Sheriff Rich Williams and Fiscal Administrative Manager Don Ashton give you that information. Second, I'm here to tell you that I was appalled at the treatment and disrespect that you showed me, my office, and my staff at the April 5th meeting. A little history. My staff and I worked diligently with your CAO's office until a budget target was agreed upon. Apparently you had no idea regarding this, because I was also instructed by your CAO not to present that information. You met your budget target after hours upon hours of work by myself and my staff. And then to have such statements such as, if you can cut that much, I guess we've been giving you too much all along. We can't approve your budget unless we know how you're spending it. And then another statement made by the board was that if I didn't start working with the board and providing information requested, the board would be forced to use its budgetary powers to control the operation of my office. These statements are wrong, irresponsible, arrogant, and possibly unlawful. I want to remind the board that I don't work for you. I am a constitutional, independent, elected official. I work for the people of El Dorado County. They elected me to provide the best law enforcement services with the funding provided. And the board's authority is to allocate how much funding I receive. I understand that, and the law is clear on it. In Leon versus the County of San Diego in 2000, year 2000, the district court stated that the sheriff is functionally independent from control by the county board of supervisors.
That's right.
In Hicks versus Orange County, the Orange County Board of Supervisors in 1977, the appellate court ruled the board does not have the power to control the manner in which the sheriff performs his or her duties. The case has been restated numerous times in numerous cases throughout the state when conflicts arise between boards and elected officials. Also in Hicks, the court ruled the Board of Supervisors has no legal authority to use its budgetary power to control employment in or operation of the sheriff's office. Only the sheriff has control of and responsibility for distribution and training of personnel and the specific use of the funds allocated to him or her by the Board of Supervisors. Any attempt to reorganize the sheriff's office or exert any control over the organization would be an example of the unconstitutional interference with the sheriff. There was a statement by this board regarding the necessity and the duty of district attorney investigators versus the necessity and duties of sheriff's investigators. This topic was also addressed in Hicks, and I encourage you to consult with your counsel on all these matters. In 1997, the appellate court ruled in Brant versus the Madera County Board of Supervisors that the board has no legal authority to use its budgetary power to control employment in or operation of the sheriff's office. Only the sheriff has control of and responsibility for distribution and training of personnel and the specific use of the funds allotted to him. Also in Brant, the court, in interpreting Government Code Section 26605, stated the jail is under the control of the sheriff, and the Board of Supervisors has no direct authority over the jail. The only clear and present duty enjoined by law upon the Board of Supervisors with regard to a county jail is to provide the sheriff with food, clothing, and bedding for prisoners, and to pay as a county charge other expenses incurred in keeping of prisoners. In another case, Scott versus Common Council of the City of San Bernardino in 1996, the Court of Appeal ruled that the power of the Board of Supervisors to supervise county officers shall not be construed to affect the independent and constitutionally and statutorily designated investigative and prosecutorial functions of the sheriff and the district attorney. And then in 1994, the California Attorney General also addressed these issues and stated, this distinction to be drawn is between the power of a Board of Supervisors to appropriate county funds and the power of a sheriff to manage the expenditures of those funds so appropriated. A county board of supervisors is not authorized to govern the actions of a sheriff concerning the manner in which his or her respective budget allotments are expended or the manner in which personnel are assigned. Since the meeting on the 5th, I've heard from numerous people that you don't think the new sheriff is amusing. Well, folks, I'm not trying to be amusing, nor am I amused.
No,
I have
you're
a
just being
business to
damn
run.
arrogant.
I have
You know, the very first thing you said, like when
me
you
finish.
came up here,
my presentation.
Hey,
I'm tired of you.
I have a business to run.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen,
What do you want? You
ladies
want
and
the
ge-
county
la-
sheriff
ladies
on?
and gentlemen,
I have a
gentlemen,
business
as
to
the
run.
chair of the Board of Supervisors, I will recess right now
Good.
if the dialogue doesn't stop. Sheriff, you have the floor.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna sit here and
I have a
take this.
business to run, a service to provide to the
Please.
citizens of El Dorado County. And that includes you and your constituents. You've all stated you want to work with me and you want me to succeed. Yet my office receives an attitude of micromanagement and control from the Board of Supervisors. I don't tell you how to run your business, and I don't expect you to tell me how to run mine. The people who elected us have that responsibility. I don't want a conflict, and I have no interest in engaging in a power struggle at all. However, I refuse to allow the board to disrespect my office and my staff. And for that matter, the citizens I serve. I truly want to work with all of you and have a healthy relationship. All the information you've asked for is readily available to you. My office is completely transparent. If you want to know what direction I'm taking the office, all you have to do is ask. Take a look at what I and my staff have done for the past 100+ days. I truly feel we're off to a great start. Again, I've met your budget target without argument. I will continue to manage my office as I have in the past 100+ days, conservatively and continually looking for ways to save money and provide better services to all the citizens which my staff and I serve. My undersheriff and fiscal administrative manager will be presenting you the information after lunch, information that is already available to you. They'll go into detail regarding our budget and personnel allocations. You received much of this information on the 5th, and you'll receive more information today. While I appreciate your concern and your inquisitiveness, my staff and I don't have the time to respond to every request of the board for duplicative information, which is already available. I have an office to run, and my staff is extremely busy with additional responsibilities on their plate due to the reduction in funding. My staff and I have already expended countless hours preparing this presentation. And your CEO and my fam, they're in constant contact with each other. If you need any other information, just ask. And as Ronald Reagan so eloquently stated, there's no limit to what you can accomplish if you don't care who gets the credit. So let's try to work together for the good of El Dorado County. Thank you.
Supervisor Sweeney?
Sheriff, would you mind providing me a copy of those citations?
I'll provide your counsel with a copy of this speech.
So he's not gonna work with you, Jag, he's gonna work with Lou.
Or you can give it. Would you like a copy yourself?
I appreciate it, John.
Okay. Any,
Go ahead. I'm in.
Sheriff, thank you for taking the time to come to the board. I understand everyone's busy. Look forward to your undersheriff and your fiscal manager to present information to the board. And I would welcome everybody to return. Board's pleasure. What time are we going to return back? 2 o'clock? Okay. Board's pleasure. It's indicated to me that they'd like to return back at 2 o'clock. Sheriff, I think that the Board of Supervisors is going to be working closely with your fiscal folks, and we'll try to get through these budgetary hard times. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, we're reconvening the El Dorado County Board of Supervisors. It's April 25th, 2011. It's 2:03 PM, and we just heard from the sheriff, and now we'll hear from the sheriff's staff, I believe. Terry?
Mr. Chairman,
Supervisor Sweeney?
my light is on.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I listened to what the sheriff had to say earlier, and I could make a response to that, but I won't waste my breath. I believe this board works best by motion, and the most direct way that I can see to respond to the sheriff is it's my understanding from the CAO that the budget target for the sheriff's budget for the 11-12 budget is $50,680,055. I would move that amount of money for the sheriff's 11-12 budget.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and we have a second. I'll open it up to the, I believe the Sheriff's Department's going to give us a presentation, and then we'll follow it up by public comment.
Chairman, I think we need to act on the motion. I think you have public hearing, and then we vote on the motion.
We do it. Board's pleasure.
We can spend hours, but I understood the tenor of the message, and I certainly don't want to meddle in the sheriff's department business. My job is to set the budget.
Okay.
And we've been told that there's an agreement on that number, so why waste everybody's time yakking about all the things that happen on the face of the earth? Why not just award the number and get on with our business?
I understand.
So I'd like you to take testimony on the motion.
Okay. Well, I believe the rules are we need to take public testimony, so I'll open it up to the public. Anyone wishing to speak on this item may do so. There's a motion on the table to set the sheriff's budget at $50,680.
50 million.
I'm sorry, $50,680,000 and 55 cents. $50,680,000 and 55 cents.
No, it's
$55.
I'm sorry. I'm not used to, okay. $50,680,550, correct?
You're close. It's 55, not 550.
All right. I wasn't expecting this motion. All right.
Wasn't either.
Perhaps I'm going to speak on something else besides the motion, excuse me. I'd like to get a couple things clarified. I think that they were made
Name for the
very
record,
clear.
please.
Excuse me, I'm Norm Mahalik. I'm a El Dorado resident for 8 years. 7 years in the Marine Corps. I am a member of the FBI Marine Corps Association on the East Coast. I am also a retired airline pilot. I don't like to get involved in politics, but I see a reason for it today. And number one is that I support the budget. And I had this emailed to me from the state. Mr. Jim Wilshire, County Budget Act. I'm asking for a copy of today's notes, and I'm going to submit this just as if somebody's interested in reading it. I also have what is known as the county structure. And the county structure talks about what kind of a county we are, and it talks about people who work for the county, and then it talks about elected officials. It also talks about the Board of Supervisors, which is very briefly stated, unlike the separation of powers that characterizes the federal and state governments, the Board of Supervisors is both the legislative and the executive